The night sky over the Black Sea lit up with fire, explosions echoing across the waters, and once again the world's attention turned toward a single structure that has become one of the most symbolic battlegrounds of this war, the Crimean Bridge. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please subscribe to my channel for more deep dives into the conflicts shaping our world. Today we are taking a closer look at the Crimean Bridge under attack, often called the Achilles heel of Russia's war in Ukraine. Why is this bridge so important? Why has it become a repeated target? And what does each strike against it mean for Russia's war machine and Ukraine's struggle for survival? In simple terms, the Crimean Bridge connects mainland Russia to the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia annexed in 2014. Since the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the bridge has served as Russia's critical supply line, carrying weapons, fuel, food, and troops into occupied Crimea and southern Ukraine. Every attack on it represents not only a physical blow to Russia's logistics but also a symbolic attack on Moscow's claim over Crimea. Ukraine has repeatedly sought to disable or destroy it, because doing so undermines Russia's ability to sustain operations in the south. In short, the bridge is both a literal and figurative lifeline, and hitting it cuts directly into Russia's war strategy. When we talk about the exterior of the Crimean Bridge, what we are really describing is its scale and appearance. Stretching nearly 19 kilometers across the Kerch Strait, it is the longest bridge in Europe, a grand engineering project unveiled by Russia with great pride. From the outside, it was meant to symbolize permanence. Russia wanted the world to believe Crimea was tied irrevocably to its mainland. The massive steel arches, concrete supports rising out of the sea, and the dual road and rail design give it a monumental look. To Russia's domestic audience, it became a trophy, a piece of propaganda, a sign of national strength. But to Ukraine and its allies, the exterior is a facade of domination, a reminder of an illegal annexation, and every explosion that scars its pillars shatters the image of permanence Moscow wanted to project. Inside, the so-called interior of the bridge is much less dramatic, but in military terms, this is where its vulnerability lies. The lanes are narrow, packed with constant traffic of trucks, fuel tankers, and rail cargo. When Ukrainian drones or missiles hit the bridge, the damage to these internal transport arteries is catastrophic. Rail lines can be twisted out of service, roads fractured and unsafe for vehicles. The interior is not designed with redundancy. There are no backup routes inside the bridge itself. So while the exterior may appear sturdy and defiant, the interior is fragile, and every strike exposes just how quickly this mighty project can be brought to a halt. Performance is where the story of the Crimean Bridge becomes a battlefield evaluation. As a piece of infrastructure, its performance is measured not in beauty but in function. Has it fulfilled its role of supplying Russia's army in Ukraine? Yes, to some extent, but at an enormous cost. Each time Ukraine damages it, Russia scrambles to repair it. These repairs are expensive, time-consuming, and logistically draining. Furthermore, its performance as a secure supply line is deeply flawed. Unlike underground pipelines or dispersed routes, the bridge is exposed to air, sea, and drone attacks. Its performance under pressure has shown that it cannot consistently withstand modern warfare tactics. What was supposed to be an indestructible artery of occupation has instead become a vulnerable target that fails again and again to guarantee Russia's logistical needs. When it comes to safety features, Russia's planners clearly underestimated modern threats. Bridges are normally designed with physical safety in mind: weight-bearing limits, structural reinforcement, and earthquake resistance. But the Crimean Bridge was never designed with wartime resilience as its main feature. Safety against missiles, drones, and sabotage was not adequately considered. Russian authorities have tried to increase defenses, deploying air defense systems, underwater barriers, and patrol boats. Yet, time and again, Ukrainian strikes have pierced these defenses. Tankers loaded with explosives, maritime drones skimming the waves, and precision missile strikes have all shown that whatever safety measures were put in place are insufficient. The supposed shield around the bridge has more holes than armor, and this has made it not just a weak point but a repeated humiliation for Russia. The unique selling points of the Crimean Bridge are where symbolism outweighs utility. For Russia, its unique value lies in political messaging. It is not only a supply route but also a monument, a signal to its citizens and the world that Crimea is Russian. President Putin himself drove a truck across it during its opening, turning it into a stage for his political theater. Every strike against it, therefore, carries a symbolic weight much greater than the structural damage alone. For Ukraine, the bridge has a unique selling point as a strategic target. Attacking it weakens Russia's logistics, boosts Ukrainian morale, and signals to the world that even Moscow's proudest symbols are not beyond reach. In this way, the bridge is unique because it represents more than concrete and steel. It is a battlefield trophy contested in both physical and psychological terms. If one were to put a price on the Crimean Bridge, the figures are staggering. Russia spent billions of dollars constructing it. Estimates range around $4 billion USD. Beyond financial cost, the price has extended into geopolitical and human costs. Each attack forces Russia to divert resources, materials, and labor into repairs instead of frontline needs. The price for Ukraine, in contrast, comes in the form of effort, risk, and innovation, as each attack requires careful planning, precious weaponry, and often sacrifices. But from Ukraine's perspective, the cost is justified. Damaging or disabling the bridge has a disproportionate impact compared to the resources used. In war economics, it is a high-value target with a high return on investment. For Russia, the bridge is turning into a bottomless pit of expenditure, draining its resources and pride simultaneously. In conclusion, the Crimean Bridge under attack is not merely a story about infrastructure but about the broader dynamics of war, symbolism, and vulnerability. Its exterior projects strength but conceals fragility. Its interior is a lifeline but one that can be severed with precision strikes. Its performance has shown flaws, its safety features have failed repeatedly, and its unique selling point, meant to symbolize Russia's permanence in Crimea, has instead made it a glaring target. The price paid for this bridge continues to rise, not just in rubles but in reputational damage and strategic setbacks. For Ukraine, each hit against it represents resilience, innovation, and the possibility of weakening Russia's grip on Crimea. For Russia, it is a reminder that no matter how large or grand a project may be, in modern war there is no true Achilles that does not also carry a heel. Now, if you look at the bridge through the lens of history, you see that great powers have always invested in monuments of control, whether railroads, fortresses, or canals. Yet, as wars evolve, these monuments become
liabilities. The Crimean Bridge fits into this pattern. Ukraine has transformed what Russia saw as its strongest link into its weakest point. Every time a strike lands, it resonates not only in Moscow's military command but also in the global perception of Russia's war. It shows allies that Ukraine can strike deep, it shows Russians that their control is fragile, and it shows the world that even the grandest projects can crumble when they rest on illegitimate foundations. This is the story of the Crimean Bridge under attack, the Achilles heel of Russia's war in Ukraine. And as the conflict continues, it is likely that this bridge will remain at the center of both strategic battles and symbolic struggles.